Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with King. Just get it out of the way now. This is not intended as financial advice. This is purely educational, so please do your due diligence to make a better decision or based off of this information. So anyway, that sounds stupid, but anyway, let's get going. Today, we'll start off again with the weekly chart like we always do. It says I'm having bad streaming, guys. Go ahead and write in the chat box if that is happening. It says unable to connect to chat. I don't know. You guys let me know if you guys see anything there or not. But anyway, so we're just going to keep going. On the weekly chart again, we do have the red one. We had the green one. Now we're having a red one. We price flipped again. Now, maybe next week we'll get, a green 2, or sorry, a red 2 under a red 1, and make that fall, or maybe we'll just make it happen here pretty soon. Who knows? The one candles have seemed to be, pretty long. I think this one was a little small, but most of the one candles seem to be pretty deep drops. So let's see what happens. Again, I feel like this little move up this morning is just a fake out. It's not even holding its weight. It's not a very strong move, so with very low volume. So we'll see. But anyway, in retrospect to the week anyway. So, still kind of playing in there. We can't rule out a test at 69,77,000. It's still possible this week. If we get into next week, then, it won't be nowhere near as high, 67 or so. But we are kind of coming to the bottom of this triangle here. Something needs to happen, and I believe it's going to break down. So we'll see what happens, but again, this is the weekly chart. Again, the bottom of the BB is 5,500. It is starting to squeeze now, so we'll see. Let's see what happens there. We'll go from there. So let's go ahead and jump over to the hourly chart. Sorry, on this one. So here's the hourly chart. It broke through, this little line of resistance here on your channel, which is the 786 fib level. It had been rejected there. It came back up, rejected again, got through, and was rejected right here at the 50 MA, which is obviously not trending in the right direction. Even with this move up here, it's still facing pretty much off the cliff, so it's crossed over both MAs again. We're back beneath everything, and there's really no support at the moment. You've got your channel support, but we bounced right off the bottom channel there. Now we'll see what happens here, but I believe that we're probably going to come back down and test it down here and then break down, so we'll see. But again, like I said, the MA is just trending straight down there. Again, we can switch to the 4 hour. It's the 50 MA is kind of trending up, but you were kind of rejected there and at the fib level. There's a chance that we do come back up and test this before we break down, which is about 63.90. 6,400, which I said yesterday. I was kind of said, 6,400. That's probably our max jump at this point, and that's kind of where we were rejected at. So if that happened, if we didn't just break down, so this happened, which is awesome. You got another good. We're back in a situation where we might be able to catch a nice little short here. So we just got to keep an eye on it and see what it decides that it's going to do. But right now it's trending down. Your RSI. Your TSI is coming back towards your center line here. So it could be, rejected here and come back down a little bit, maybe go all the way back up. It's hard to tell. But 12-hour chart's one that I've been liking a lot lately. And you look at the 12-hour chart. Your TSI is kind of turning back up. We'll see what happens there. Probably maybe end up sideways a little bit here. That's very possible as well. But on this 12-hour chart, you saw 4 hours. Let's see if it's fully rejected at this 236 level. It's possible that it's fully rejected here, and this makes another turn back down to at least go and actually touch an oversold condition. It hasn't got there yet. So the 1 day, again, same thing. Let's see if it gets fully rejected here. Obviously, that fib line could be off a little bit, touch as many candles as you can. I think that's why I left it there. So, I mean, it could come down just a little bit, but, we'll see. But anyway, so, that's kind of the idea there. Again, same thing, channel rejections. We're back in this bottom channel section here. Let's see what happens. Is it going to take a few days and come back up, or is it just going to crash? So it's hard to tell what's going to happen, but I'm going to say that we're going to definitely break that descending triangle and head downward. And we'll see what happens from there. It's going to be interesting to see where we end up at. So again, here on the daily chart, your 50 MA is in a free fall still. You see, it's still in a free fall. It just broke over right here where we fell, right? That was your what? It's not considered a death cross, but I guess it could be. But it's not. But it's something along those lines. It's not a good crossover. You don't ever want to have your 50 MA below your 100 and your 200. And that's what we have now on the daily as well. Again, it's trending straight down. If you look at the weekly chart, it's the same thing. Now the weekly chart obviously gives you a little bit more room to grow. Let's look at... So your last run up, you were rejected at the 50-week moving average, which is still going up. But you have to remember that this 50-week moving average is, let's see here, it's still including these candles if you're uptrend, right? Now, you have to remember that your 50-week moving average, once we get, what are we here? Once we get to here, let's see what that does. 50 bars would put you out about December is when you will see that this 50-week moving it's already kind of starting to turn. It'll probably be somewhere down here or even lower once it starts to hit some of this free fall. So remember that. Think about that. Sometimes take your weeks and move them back and look and see how far back that moving average is and look at the difference in times and what was happening at that point. So just keep that in mind that there's a chance. Now this is going to start to come, and it's going to come down hard. This is where I feel we'll be rejected at, at this 100-week moving average, which is the 53 to 5,500 range, and it's only climbing as it takes longer to get there. So that's good. Our support is growing and it's coming up. That's why I don't feel that the actual descending triangle target of 3,300 will hit. I think it's going to get stopped before then. And then, you know, we'll start working our way up. And obviously, again, you have a lot of different ETF decisions coming up this week, in the next coming week and the next coming week and 2 weeks. So, but, you know, so just keep an eye on this. This is something to look at, again, more longer term, midterm of where Bitcoin is going. Still very bearish to me. So, let's jump over to your oscillators. Actually, let's look at the long shorts real quick. So the shorts are coming down. Shorts are coming down. First time I looked at this chart this morning. So, you know, it's good. They're kind of leveling out. Some of them took profit, got scared there, thought it was gonna go crazy. So we'll see. My stop got hit too. My take profit, so it is what it is. So we'll see what happens here. I'm watching the charts again, like I said. I'm just looking for another good short entry. That's what I see happening. Oops. Oh, it says Coinbase. We don't want Coinbase. We want... Sorry, guys. My computer sucks. There we go. Alright. So anyway, again, I just feel like this is a weak fall. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to wait. I've got my short set right now at the 100 MA just in case if we get a little wick above. That's where I'm setting up right now. So I'm at 63.89. Between there and 6,400 is somewhere where I would place a short at if it was me. That's kind of what I would do, just based on these MAs. I mean, even if again, this is on the hourly chart, and then again, your RSI or TSI is trending down now. It has a bunch of room to fall, you know, from there to be in oversold conditions, which would, in return, most likely reject you here and bring you back down to somewhere, you know, around here. So, you know, we need to just pay attention to it. It might come back down and test this bottom line here. Let's check out Ether. So I have a better chart of Ether somewhere. I don't know what's going on here. Come on. I guess this is Ether, huh? So Ether is at its 50 MA. You know, it got back above it. Now it's kind of hanging around on top of it. I don't see it with the way that it's trending. I just believe that this is going to break back down as well. So keep that in mind. Looks like Ether's going to crash again. I just don't feel Ether's done, no matter how you look at it. It literally, you know, within this new downtrend here. Let's see something here. So you don't got all the candles there, but you do there. And it's right in line with those two up there. So let's see here. So you catch all kinds of candles there. Pretty close, I call it that. So, I mean, let's see if it just comes back here. You know, it's going to walk the MA down, or is it going to break down and just keep coming for its next round? Because you know, I mean, here's a perfect example of this. All right, here's Ether back on September 8th, right? And Ether took a nice little crash, right? Stumbled up, crashed some more. Ether took a nice little crash, stumbled up, crashed some more, right? This one did a couple more crashes, but it's worked its way back up. Then it had a nice little pump, right? Then it had a little bit more of a pump. And then it started to fall off right at that MA. Didn't get over it this time. It got over it this time. But if it gets back under it, then we're just back in the same position. And maybe we just go ahead and walk our way on back down to a new low. So you've got your low right now. That's at... Your line, that's at 166. So again, with Ether, I'm expecting this to make a nice downward line to here, maybe bounce a little bit, and then break down. So we'll see. Or maybe it'll make a double bottom here, and it'll take off, and Bitcoin falling to 6,000 or so would probably bring Ether back down to here quickly. So we'll see. Maybe that might be the double bottom for Ether, and it may recover. Again, the 1 hour, it's oversold. It's not oversold yet, but it never really hit oversold conditions. But it's back in its downtrend. So let's see what it does. I'm expecting it to fall some more. Honestly, I'm expecting everything to just keep falling. You can get a nice little couple $100 balance or $100 balance or so, and call it a pump, and it's just going to keep going down. So, the only thing that's going to change this is if the ETF decides that it's the only way. So I mean, I posted in my Telegram today. Let me look at it real quick here. I'll just, yeah. So, got a lot going on. You got the Dextrin ETF final decision on the 21st. That's, what is that? A few days from now? Yeah, Friday. So, this week. So, that could be playing into this as well. But the last few decisions have either been delayed or pushed off. And with this month being so full of all of these big decisions, we're not seeing what we seen last month. Or not last month, back in July. We're not seeing that kind of momentum in this bounce on Ethereum, on anything. And actually, Ethereum was in bad shape then anyway. See, August, let's see. No, it was actually, well, they didn't have it on BitMEX then, so I'll have to look at that in a second. But let's look at that for XBT. So let's just look at that, right? So back in June, right? June into July, we were testing out a new low for the year, right? 57 area, what was it? Let's see here. 57.78 was the low, I believe. Might have been a little lower than that. That somewhere in there, right? And that's your low. And the decision came out, what was it? Shoot, I can't remember. It was like mid-July or something like that, at end of July. Right? So this build-up for that ETF decision with the CBO, you can either say it was ETF, or you can say it's just simple charting, that it was going to go to that line either way and be rejected. So there's arguments everywhere. But either way, the momentum that pushed this up based on that information, all that CBOE shit came out, everybody's going to get, it's going to get approved. Everybody in the world thought it was going to be approved, and look what happened. Well, the second they found out it wasn't approved, it crashed, right? But we didn't fall back to the bottom of the descending triangle like we thought we would. Or not the descending triangle, like the rising wedge. Because at the time, the rising wedge made just as much sense as the descending triangle. But the descending triangle started coming in more into play once we realized that 58 to 62 area was pretty strong support. So you could basically say, okay, well, throughout all of its falls, that's where it's been basically supported at. So let's just build a descending triangle, and that's starting to play out better than obviously this descending wedge. But if it decides to fall, the wedge could definitely be a target at 5,000, which we were saying is, 5,000 to 55 is about where we want to go. So there's two different ways to look at this. And honestly, the price line basically shows you exactly where the support and resistance has been. So for Bitcoin to get back over this resistance, literally in the area that we are in now, even up to 68 to 7,000, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take an ETF decision, or it's going to take us finding an actual bottom. And right now, we don't have a bottom. So that's that. So we'll just have to keep remembering and paying attention to some of this stuff. But this is your 4-hour chart. And if you look on this one, You know, there's an ETF decision in 4 days. And you've got a little bit of a bounce and a massive drop. You know, you have more loss in the last 2 days than you have gain. So, and now it's being rejected at some of its MAs. It's been back beneath everything. You know, this could go for a while. You know, so it's hard to tell. Is the MA going to keep staying flat? And, you know, maybe we test a new bottom. Maybe we break out. You know, who knows? But I'm betting on it dropping. So, anyway, that's just kind of what I see there. Again, you know, let's go back to Ether. But Ether is the same way. So, Ether back, you know, let's see here. Alright, so Ether back in July, in June. So that whole time that we're talking about a Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum's just hanging around here, still basically crashing, right? Then it crashes. Hanging around here, crashes, right? Every time it's gotten to, okay, let's just, I just want to do this real fast. If my damn thing would speed up here a little bit, it'd be awesome. It's not letting me zoom out. Let's just do this then. Let's go to the daily chart. I'm getting frustrated, guys. Sorry. Okay, so depending on how you draw this line, right? Touch as many candles as possible. So, I mean, you could draw this line something like that and move this to about right there or so. But if you look at that, it's a pretty good draw. It's a pretty good line. Catching most of these tips here, a little bit up and over it. Sometimes these lines get broken, so it's okay to add a few of those brokens into it. But again, if you add that up and you look at the daily chart, we just got pretty damn close to that line. And as it keeps going, it keeps coming down. So for me, you know, anywhere in the 220 to 230 range is great shorts. Over and over and over again, no matter how many times it hits that spot. Because at this point, even if a Bitcoin ETF is approved, that's going to hurt Ethereum. Because what's going to happen is if there's a Bitcoin ETF approved, everybody's going to take all their money out of everything else, they're going to put it into Bitcoin, and it's going to kill all the alts in the short term. So it's going to continue to drop even more. So just remember that. That's what's going to happen if it does that. And it's very possible that this stays sideways until it gets to that line and then falls, kind of like it has done on almost every one of these drops. Sideways to it, boom, falls. So let's see. Every time it touches that line, it crashes pretty hard. So let's see if it does it again. One-hour chart. Again, so it jumped up here to the MA. It rode it up a little bit as it was going up. Now it's crashing. I knew I should have shorted that. Because there it goes. That last candle just pulled it down. And now it's going to crash. So like I said, guys, I mean, that's what's happening here. And there goes Bitcoin too. So, I mean, again, I have my short set. And it looks like we're going to miss this little drop here. But anyway, that's what's going to happen. So it's going down again, like I said. But anyway, guys, so that's all I really have for you guys today. We can check out the oscillators real quick. I'm sorry. On the XBT daily, again, room to fall, room to fall, room to fall. MACD's cross bearish, momentum's down. Again, I just don't see why anybody thinks that this is going to go up. 12-hour, same thing. You just crossed over bearish. You're down. You are quite getting close to that oversold area, but you have room to fall. 4-hour chart is neutral. Can drop either way. CMS neutral. Momentum's down. Looks like it's trying to get some up momentum, but I don't think it's going to happen. I hope we get a nice little bounce here because I want to short these. And in the 1-hour chart, again, you have a lot of room to fall still, so let's see what happens. It should be looking like it's about to cross over bearish as well. Momentum's on its way down. So that's kind of it, guys. I mean, that's the way it looks. So we will go ahead and wrap this up again. If you guys can or want to, we do have the training courses getting ready to start. Again, you can check out the website, and they are on there. You can check them out. PM me on Telegram, and I can get you guys more information. As well as if you trade in stocks, there is a Robinhood link if you're in the U.S. If you guys sign up and fund an account, we'll both get free stocks. So no harm, no loss. So anyway, guys, we'll see you guys later.